What's up, guys? We're gonna roll beats. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to make a Nardo Wick type beat. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned for songs, do so. Go to sub it a lot. Let's hop right into it. So BPM 150 to 160 is like the sweet spot. I just chose the middle. Scale, we could just choose a minor. Let's just do like a G minor. Let's go ahead and get started with the melody. All right, so we're starting with our strings, and I went ahead and labeled the type of sounds you need. So we want to go for something that's kind of vague. We don't want like a super melodic melody. We want something dark and kind of in the background, kind of melt into the beat, right? So with these strings, we could really just start with a fifth to make it easy. Basically, if you don't do that, you go to stamps, fifth, and you can place it on the root, and then you have it. If you want to build it from scratch, you just start on the root and go up 6 spaces in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in place. All right, and then from here we can just kind of take this all the way across. Okay, we could do about 2 bars, but I'm gonna put a pattern. Let's pull it up an octave. So we want to make like a little pattern here with our strings. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this back, and then we want to edit the velocity a bit. You don't have to do this. This is just kind of sell the effect a bit. And let's try something like this. Something like that. Okay, let's actually take this and pull this down an octave. All right, simple as that. Let's copy this over, and then we can pull one of these down. So we want to keep this dark, so we can go to these little half steps here. All right, so those are our strings, and let's move on to our piano. All right, so now we have a piano, and this is just to kind of pull up the energy a bit. So we're gonna like play it like an ARP. It's pretty much something like this, but like repeating over and over and over. Okay, so we can use that same fifth that we had earlier. Okay, start on a G, and then you can kind of play with the octaves, and you want to like just play around with these notes and see like kind of which ones you like. And I'm gonna pull this velocity up a bit. So with this one, let's pull this up an octave so it kind of pulls through. And maybe let's flip this. Okay, I like that. And let's just copy it all the way over. And then let's do it again. And then over here, we could just pull down. Matter of fact, let's take this right here, pull it back, and then complete it with this. Okay, you don't always have to follow the rules. Okay, and the whole point, we just want to make something full and dark. So let's take this root for the bass. Matter of fact, let's go all the way through. And let's take this A. Okay, that should be good enough. Pull it down an octave. And then let's actually just cut right here. Okay, now that should be good enough for the piano. You don't need the bass notes, but it kind of adds some like thickness to the low end, so that's why I added it. So now we could go ahead and do our violin. All right, so now we have like our counter, which is like a violin, and this is just what I chose. You don't need this. You can use a flute, any instrument you want. I just chose this because I thought it would fit these sounds I picked. So basically, let's go in here, and what we could do is just start on the root, and we don't want this to be annoying, so I'm gonna just let it play and just see what other notes I want to use. And we could just go ahead and pull that fifth in. And then we could just be lazy with this, honestly, and just pull this up an octave. And then one thing I like to do with these violins is go to channel volume. And basically, let me pull this up. What this is gonna do is you can basically have it swoop in, hold right click, and then I'll just like swoop it down like that. And I'm kind of matching that up with this. just so it's a smoother transition. Obviously you would spend more time fine-tuning it, but just for this video that's good enough. So that is our violin. Let's move on to the 808. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do our 808. So the most typical pattern that you want to do with this is pretty much just something like this, and just copy it over. And you don't need to change the like note a lot. Usually it's the same exact like note throughout, and then at the end around here it'll probably go down, probably like somewhere down here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this back to velocity. Pull these up. Let's change this, and then we can add some little notes in here. And okay, I like that. And real quick, we could just throw in our kick, and we can get started with the drums really. Alt K, and then let's just copy this over. I don't want this to play on every single part, so I'm gonna just take these out. Okay, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and go into the drums. All right, so with this style and just a lot of these styles, the drums are pretty much the same, like all the way through the entire genre. So you can have really, usually it's a snare. Very rarely is it a clap, like a clear clap. It's probably like a mix. So you want to make sure you have those snares in there. You can just really put this pattern as your kind of, you know, consistent pattern for your like clap or whatever. And then I'm gonna pull these up. Just so it's a little bit dynamic. It's not like completely the same volume, just to give a little bit of bounce. And then we want to open hat and a triangle. And then our hi-hats, we can, let's see. I'm trying to do this real time. And let's do a 1/6. I wonder if I could just paint it like this. Yep. Do a 1/6 thing right here. I'm gonna do something a little different. Let's pull that over. Right now, I'm just kind of trying some different stuff. We just copy this over. Okay, so that's it for the drums, and now we can go ahead and do like some effects to kind of make the melody a little bit more kind of glued. All right, so I went ahead and set everything up, and really a lot of this I just kind of just tweaked it a little bit just to make it sound a little bit better, and then I'll talk about the master. It's pretty easy, but what I want to focus on is actually manipulating the melody. Now with this style, a lot of times the melody isn't this clear. Now you can keep that, it still will work, but usually it's more vague than that. So this is why I added these things here, and there's really nothing here besides like some EQ tweaks. So on the bus, I have a kind of like just pretty much a reverb, and I'll add everything as I go. And the reason I add this is because when I put it through the rest of these, it'll kind of blend together. right? So it's not so sharp, like the sounds will start to blend together due to the reverb, right? And then the first one I added here was just a reverse on a 1/4, okay? And the reason I add the reverse is to mask like the instrument so everything kind of melts together, because if you don't reverse it, you can still hear like the instruments and the notes being played. All right. And then here I did a lot. So I just put a halftime. Okay. And then with this halftime on the mid area, I used this filter and I pulled it down, and basically just kind of like an EQ, just taking out some of that bass, filtering some of that bass out. And then I added some bounce in the higher end with this. I don't know, I just chose this preset, this square preset, and just edited it like this, and then put it on 1/2, and this is going to give a little bit of bounce. All right, so now it's a little bit more on par with the style. And then just the EQO, just kind of, I don't know why that is so large. Yeah, but this just to take out some of the bass and some of the highs, just kind of put it in its own little section. Right, and then here, took out some of the lows and then boosted the highs, and of course soft clipper, you already know that. And here's the whole thing. And there's plenty of other things you could do. Like, this is very lazy processing, but this is just to help you kind of get an idea of what to put. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.